Hi guys, welcome back to Ramya's World. Today we're going to be talking about the currently trending topic, the impeachment proceedings of the current US President Donald Trump. I know I had thought that I would stay away from politics and religion, but with so much going on, you cannot not address the elephant in the room. So here's in a nutshell, how did it all begin? Like, why are we here? Why is there an impeachment inquiry going in for Donald Trump? And we just started the public impeachment hearing on this Wednesday, that's November 13th. But how did we get here? So on July 25th of this year, there was a phone call between US President Donald Trump and the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and in which Donald Trump supposedly asked Zelensky to open an investigation on the presidential candidate Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden. He was like asking, why is Hunter Biden, who was a consultant for Burisma, which is the Ukraine's largest natural gas producer, why is he getting paid so much money as a consultant? And Trump is also accused of pressurizing Zelensky to dig into the corruption and alleged interference with the 2016 presidential US elections. And this phone call is the subject of the whistleblower complaint, which was filed in August of this year, which states that President Trump is involved in a quid pro quo, which is Latin for, you do something for me in exchange for something. So the Democrats have accused Trump of quid pro quo, saying that he held up military aid to Ukraine in exchange for the investigations he wanted to be done on Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden. Now, asking foreign entities to help in winning a US election is illegal. But Trump, of course, denies all these accusations, and he describes the phone call as being perfect. The complaint filed by the whistleblower, who's an unnamed intelligence official, he wrote a letter expressing concern over the call, the July 25th call between President Trump and President Zelensky. So as per the whistleblower complaint, Trump blocked millions of dollars of US military aid to Ukraine. And then later, a senior official testified that the release of the aid was conditional on Biden being investigated. And as always, Trump is calling this whole process a witch hunt. So I looked up what does a presidential impeachment mean. So in US, it is a process by which the lower house of the legislature brings charges against a civil officer of government for crimes alleged to have been committed, analogous to bringing of an indictment by a grand jury. Now, after the impeachment, even after the impeachment, the impeached official remains in office until a trial is held. Now, the US Constitution states that a president shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes or misdemeanors. So this is how the process of impeachment begins. It is a two-stage process. So the proceedings have to be started by the House of Representatives, and a vote to impeach only needs a simple majority. And if it passes, it then goes on to the Senate, where the trial begins. And once the trial is held, they need 2/3 majority in the Senate for the president to be removed. And this 2/3 majority in the Senate trial to remove the president from the office has never been reached so far in the US history. And currently the Senate is controlled by the Republican because they have the majority. And this is a flow chart of how the whole impeachment process works. I have the link below to the article, which has the complete flow chart. I looked into the history of, if any of the past presidents have been impeached. Of course, there's the famous Bill Clinton impeachment. So in 1999, Bill Clinton, the 42nd president, he was impeached on the ground of perjury and obstruction of justice after he lied about the nature of his affair with the White House intern Monica Lewinsky, and then he allegedly asked her to lie about it. But then when the trial reached the Senate, the vote of conviction failed to get the two-third majority, and so he was not removed from office. And the only other president to be impeached before that was the 17th president, Andrew Johnson, in 1868. He was accused, among other things, dismissing his Secretary of War against the will of Congress. So Mr. Johnson had a narrow escape though. So with regards to the two-third majority in the Senate, he just missed it by one vote. Had he got that one vote, he would be removed from office. And then there was the famous Watergate scandal during the time of the 37th President Richard Nixon in 1974. So had he not resigned, so he resigned from office, but had he not resigned from office, there was a huge chance of him being impeached and removed from office. So in the case of Bill Clinton and Andrew Johnson, when the trial went to Senate, they got acquitted. But in case of Trump, now if it moves on to Senate, and there is a two-third majority, he will get impeached and removed from office. And then it will be the Vice President Mike Pence who will replace the current President Trump. If the House impeaches the current president, the Senate will move to trial, and Chief Justice of US John Roberts will be the one who would preside over the trial, and he would make any rulings on the issues that would arise during that debate. And all the Senate business would be put on hold during that time, and all the senators, including those running for the 2020 presidential election, would be required to be present and to listen to all the evidence. However, currently the Republicans control the Senate, and they are strongly opposed to the impeachment, and they have the votes to acquit the president. So, just in case it reaches the stage where they have the two-third majority to convict and impeach and remove the president from office, at least 20, Republican senators would have to join with the Democrats to impeach him and to remove him from office. So in the past, Congress has impeached and removed 8 federal officials. All of them were federal judges. But no US president has ever been found guilty by the Senate impeachment trial. And so I really don't think this would be the one either. In 1999, when Bill Clinton was impeached and he had a Senate trial proceedings, it went on for 5 weeks, and he was acquitted of all the charges. And his approval rating went up by 73%. And I just read on Twitter, Trump's approval rating is at 50%. So I guess this impeachment might work in favor of Trump, and he may not get, impeached or removed from office and acquitted of all the charges. The official public hearing for this impeachment inquiry started on Wednesday this week, on November 13, and the 2 witnesses who were, in front of the House were Bill Taylor, the US diplomat, top US diplomat to Ukraine, and George Kent, who is the Deputy Assistant Secretary to the State of European and Eurasian Affairs. And there was this exchange between Representative Jim Jordan, and he was saying to the House that the person who's responsible for this should come and testify, and he was referring to the whistleblower. And there was this other representative by the name of Peter Welch who said, yes, the person who's responsible for all this, President Donald Trump, is always welcome to, come and testify. Now, the Republicans want the whistleblower to come and testify because they feel that President Trump should be given an opportunity to, confront his accusers. And today was day 2 of the public hearing, and today on the witness was the former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Ivanovitch, who was, taken off office earlier this year in May. She's, according to her, there was a smear campaign saying that she's bad and she needs to be removed from office because he got input from the Ukraine president that she's not doing well. And so President Trump felt that she needed to be removed from office. And as the proceedings or the hearing was going on, President Trump was live tweeting about Ivanovitch, saying that, oh, she's bad, she went to Somalia and she did bad. So it was like very intimidating, almost like online bullying, saying that, whatever she says is wrong. which is not right. So there are 3 more public hearings scheduled for next week and 8 more witnesses. And they are hoping that the House impeachment inquiry process would be over by the end of this year. So I'm going to end my video at that, and it remains to be seen if Trump is going to be impeached and removed from office. It's never happened in the history of US that a president is removed from office. And I have a strong feeling that it's not going to happen even this time, especially with the Republican having control of the Senate. And, you know, the whole popularity thing, like you can see right now, the stock market is up. Trump's popularity is up by 50%. So I don't think anything is going to change. And I really don't have any hopes of Trump getting impeached. So here's a song to get your weekend started. I just recently heard the song after a really long time. It's called Happy by Pharrell Williams. Enjoy.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
So that's it for today, guys. I will have the links to all the articles that I got some of the info for the content for today's video below. And as always, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and share it with family and friends, and follow me on social media at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And I'll see you guys back next week. But until then, live in the moment, enjoy every moment. Kyunki kal ho na ho. Bye. Love y'all.